to the OACETT Women in Technology video series. In this video, we're going to introduce you to 8 women who have built really interesting careers for themselves. Most of these careers are based upon technology, but a couple are not, and we've included these just to give you some different perspectives. So each of these women is going to first start by sharing her story about how she built her career and kind of how she maneuvered her career path. And then each of the women are going to share their advice on different aspects of building a successful career in technology.
Hi, my name is Farah. I'm the founder and CEO of Girls 20. Girls 20 is actually an organization that encourages young women to seek out the path they want to seek by being entrepreneurial, by seeking global experiences, and really understanding what kind of education they want. I got into this job after 10 years of working in politics. I have 2 degrees in political science, one from Queen's University and my master's from Western. And after politics, I decided to work for an organization called VON. And when I did that, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, went to Africa for the first time. I was born there, came back, and started working with Belinda Stronach, who asked me to build her foundation. During that time, I created Girls 20 and then took it solo as an entrepreneur 2 years later.
So my name is Kim Pickett. I am currently a site supervisor for the County of Simcoe. I have been working for the County of Simcoe for about 10 years. I started in 2004. Prior to that, I was working at a consultant firm, which is Management Horizons. I'm also, on a volunteer basis, the Vice President of the Professional Affairs and Services Board for the OACETT. My education background, I did a Bachelor of Science at McMaster University and graduated in 1999. I wasn't really sure what my degree was going to give me in terms of a job, so I looked at my options and decided that college was much more hands-on. So I went to Confederation College and took Environmental Engineering Technology and graduated in 2001 and started my environmental career from that point.
My name is Jennifer Barroway. I'm a professional engineer in the province of Ontario. I have a degree in chemical engineering and a master's degree in civil engineering. I currently have the role of supervisor communications with Toronto 2015 Pan Am Games for the sailing event, and I'm also sitting on the advisory committee for the Humber Sailing Club. My career started over 22 years ago. I actually did a college degree before I went to university in chemical engineering technology, which actually led me to a job at the University of Toronto. And I worked in a research lab, which helped me save money to go to university. After university, I worked in the steel industry for approximately 15 to 16 years. At the same time, I did my master's in civil engineering on a part-time basis. I actually worked, after that, I worked in consulting business, environmental management, which allowed me to travel across the world. It was very exciting. I got to work on a number of different projects with a number of different team players. Following that, I ended up working for the Atomic Energy of Canada, the nuclear industry, as a manager for corporate regulatory affairs and environmental affairs. And after that, I worked for the Ministry of Environment in Ontario, supervising all the wastewater approval section. That led me to Humber College, where I started teaching, a professor for the Civil Engineering Technology program. Then I moved into the position of the program coordinator for the Civil Engineering Technology program, which then led me into the position of director of professional and continuing education for the School of Applied Technology.
Well, my name is Eliana and I have a master's degree in urban planning. I'm a civil engineer and I'm a professional project manager. I have CET designation and I work in construction business. I do renovations, I do landscaping, I do construction, and I do interior design.
My name is Fern Wolf, and I work in the field of energy medicine. And I really wasn't looking to get into the field of energy medicine, but it's something that found me. So prior to getting into the field of energy medicine, I've had a pretty varied background. I've been in the restaurant business, the nightclub business. I've worked, I've had my own bookstore. I ran for political office twice, once at the provincial level, once at the federal level. And so I have more of an entrepreneurial spirit. not a very extensive educational background, but my education has been sort of in the field, so to speak.
My name's Tara Welber. I work for Rolls-Royce Civil Nuclear. I've been there for about 9 years now. I'm an automation technologist as well as an electrical and controls designer. My career path to get there was through the college system and taking the automation technology course.
My name is Atef, and I'm currently past president of Professional Engineers Ontario. And in my day job, at this point in my career, I'm a private consultant. Before that, I started my career as a production engineer at Dofasco Incorporated, which is now ArcelorMittal. And that's in Hamilton, and I was in steelmaking production technology. After that, I did an MBA and started teaching engineering and business at the Queen's Faculty of Engineering and Queen's School of Business for 15 years. And now I'm consulting as well as serving on 3 boards of directors.
My name is Rosemary McCartney, and I'm the President and CEO of Plan International Canada. Plan is a very large, one of the world's oldest and largest international NGOs, with a focus in about 80 countries around the world on children and youth rights. To get to Plan was an interesting journey, and I certainly did not have a linear career path that is often typified as the way to go in journals and articles about women in career pathing. My undergrad was in economics at the University of Toronto, then I did a law degree at Western Ontario, and then I did an MBA in the United States. And so people would say, well, what's that got to do with the work that you're doing today, in the not-for-profit sector? And I say absolutely everything. What the degrees enabled me to do was to actually chart out kind of a rough path, but not with a great clear idea. I think I've always made decisions about where I want to go and what I want to do based on a value exchange. I could give value and get value at different points, and that really dictated what I've done. And so over the years, I've been able to work in over 100 countries. I've worked for international financial institutions. I've worked for the United Nations, and I am so thrilled to be leading this incredible team of people at Plan International Canada, because every single day I get to do extraordinary things. I'm enabled by the team to be able to do them, but all that academic education, which did not include an undergraduate in international development studies or any of that, really prepared me well for the complexity of working in very deep, culturally complex societies, massive issues. And today it's Ebola, and tomorrow it will be an earthquake, and other days it's the day in, day out work with refugees and children whose rights are being abused in every corner of the globe.
In high school, I was taking drama classes, and I was also good at math, but I realized it was time to make a decision, and I thought, do I want to be an actress? And but I thought, I really should use my math skills. And my father at the time was a long-time member of OACETT, and he's an engineering technologist. And he used to take me into his office where they had drafting equipment. I don't think we use drafting equipment anymore, we use computers. But I loved what he did, and I decided to pursue engineering.
When I was young, after the high school, I actually realized that I like to do some designs. I like to do interior design. I like to do the city planning, and I had so many ideas for energy saving and efficient transportation. And I decided to go to the university and get a proper education, and that's how I started this career, and I never regret. I love it so much.
I didn't seek out a career in technology. I think what I sought was a career in complexity and problem solving. If I'm not an expert in technology, I know enough about the questions I need to ask the experts. And so whether I'm in a major corporation, a Silicon Valley type corporation, or I'm in a not-for-profit organization today, I have to understand technology. I have to make $million-dollar investments of hard-earned money to advance the operational excellence of the NGO. So knowing enough about technology, having a comfort with technology so we can make those choices on platforms, etc., is fundamentally important.
I would say that my biggest influence for a career in technology was my mom. Throughout my high school career, I was very fortunate in that I was an excellent student in many subjects. I excelled in languages, I excelled at everything except for fine arts. I'm terrible at drawing. But when I asked my mom for her input into my homework and my studies and what career options would be out there, she encouraged me to go into science and technology. She was very influential in leading me down that path, and that's why I'm here today.
What prompted me to seek out a career in technology was the challenge of it. The fact that it's ever evolving and changing is an exciting field to be in. So.
What really strikes me as I listen to these stories is that there are no two stories that are the same. Each woman's career unfolded in a very different and very unique way, but each career was equally rewarding and successful. So the lesson here is not that there's a correct way to have your career unfold, and there's no correct way to build a career. What there is a lesson that you need to keep your eyes open for the opportunities that are out there, and when there are opportunities that you like, you jump on them. Next, we're going to hear advice from these same women about how to build a successful and rewarding career for yourself in technology.
So the advice that I would give girls in high school that are interested in possibly pursuing a career in technology is actually to seek out some advice from people that are already in that field. If they're interested, they should be taking courses that help them get into those programs, whether it's at college or university level. They should network with individuals, as well as attend as many of the open houses for the colleges or universities. There are careers everywhere, whether it's industrial design, engineering, you want to be a technician, or you want to work in the skills and trades. The doors are open to girls.
The advice I'd give to young girls who are pursuing a technology field is to maintain your maths and sciences. Depending which science you go into will depend on what you want to do, but definitely keep maintaining both math and science throughout your careers.
If you're really skilled at mathematics or you're interested in it, never be afraid of it. Always use the skills that you have. Science is fascinating. Don't look at what your friends are doing, just follow your heart and what you're passionate about. So science can be chemistry or biology or physics. It's all interesting. So I would say follow the courses that you enjoy, and that will lead to greater education and a wonderful career.
Because I think this answer applies to whatever field we determine to get into, and that is for us to follow our passion, to find something that motivates us, that we can be excited to get up to in the morning, something that we want to do, that we would do whether we got paid for it or not. So regardless of what career path we're following, if we can keep those principles in mind, then basically we produce better when we're enjoying what we're doing, our health is better when we're enjoying what we're doing, and we're giving back to society when we're enjoying what we're doing.
Well, if you like to be involved in technology in your life, don't think that it's something that's reserved for the men. So as you can see, I'm a woman and I have a very successful career, and so many women all over the world have very nice and successful careers in technology. If you have your dream, just go forward. Just move forward, do what you like. If it's kind of strange for you or somebody do not understand you, you just make your plan again. Always make your vision, have your vision, make your plan, and go forward. Step by step, you will go where you want.
You know, when you think about the different women who are at the height of their game now in technology, and you went to ask them what would they do, I think they probably would have, if they're honest, said to you they didn't absolutely necessarily think that they were going to be there. So the advice I would give is figure out what you want to do, and if it involves something that involves technology or math or science, stay at it. You know, I think I didn't excel in those areas, but I think that if you stay in those areas, the options are so much greater to you. So I think you should seek out a mentor and figure out what path they follow. I think you should figure out You know, what's your next stage? You don't necessarily need to have an A plan and figure it out and always follow that A plan. You might go to your B plan. But to keep your options open, to seek advice, to listen, to be truly interested, not just interesting. I think these are key things. And at the end of the day, it is a competitive market out there. So if you can give yourself an edge by volunteering somewhere and learning something about technology to see if it's a good fit before you plunge right in, I think that's a really great way to figure out if that's something you want to pursue.
I think I would advise young girls who are interested in pursuing technology to ensure that they look at the big picture and try to think of not only what makes them happy, but where their passion lies, because just being interested in science isn't going to be good enough. For example, I started out when I went to McMaster, I thought that I wanted to be a doctor and I thought I wanted to do biology, but when I got there it turned out that biology was okay, but it wasn't what it was in high school, and geography and geology and environmental sciences were much more where I wanted to be, and that progressed into a career in environmental sciences. And now I do environmental science on a daily basis, and I'm much happier than I would have been, I think, if I had stuck with the biology that I thought I wanted to do. So I think trying to figure out not only what will give you a rewarding career, but keeping in mind that rewarding isn't always financial.
You know, when trying to figure out why we've got such a high dropout rate of girls from math and science, it kind of befuddles me, because we know that they do really well when they're given the opportunity. So I would say if you're struggling with math and science, figure out why you're struggling and then try to fix it, because math and science degrees, staying in school for those reasons, lead to a whole host of different careers. You know, we used to have this image, I'm in my 40s, so it's a little bit different, but we used to think that people who were in math and science were geeks, and now we think they're gods. So I would say if those areas interest you at all, it's okay to fail, it's okay to struggle, it's okay to fall down, as long as you get up, as long as you understand that if that is your passion, there's absolutely no reason why you should not seek it out.
Well, not depends on the math or any subjects. I will suggest not only young girls, but all young people, never be scared of anything, and don't drop just because it looks very difficult to you in the beginning. If your road looks very long and maybe not accessible for you by your opinion, don't just give up. Just make a first step, then make a second step. And after a few steps, you realize that you're already on the half of the road, and you will see that it's not as difficult as you actually thought in the beginning. So just never give up. If you have problems, make a plan for yourself, make a first step. If you have difficulties, talk to someone, make another step. If you will have a mistake, if you make a mistake, just go back and start from first step again, and you will see it's going to be much easier. But never drop your classes and never give up.
While I don't actually work directly in the field of technology, I work with different organizations like Google, for example, that understand that technology is actually a game changer. So for Girls 20, we say to our girls, please consider a life and a career in technology, because it can change the way that you receive healthcare, the way that people will farm and how we receive our food. It'll change the way that people understand their opportunities, whether they be personal or professional. I believe technology has truly changed the way that we communicate, the way that we think, the way that we operate. And so if we can get more women and girls in technology, I think that we'll find better solutions faster and brighter.
There have been many challenges through my career, because I've had a pretty long career. I'd say probably one of the major challenges was balancing family life with a career. Having not working in the same town that I live in and having a young family was extremely difficult. But I found that if you have great friends and you have a good supporting family, that you can actually manage that. Sometimes you actually have to switch jobs to be able to balance everything. But in the end, it worked out for me. I was able to have a career of more than 22 years in technology and have a family at the same time.
Major challenge that I faced in my career, I would say, is actually the changes that keep happening. It's an ongoing challenge that I do have to face, and easiest way to rise above that is to just keep learning. And that's not just through school, but through professional development, through other areas that are giving you the opportunities.
You know, I think you face a lot of challenges through a long career like mine, and I end up in a lot of interesting situations because I work internationally. And you know, I think one of the things that I found, it sticks in my mind. I was working for the United Nations in Rwanda just before the genocide, and of course we didn't have an inkling of the genocide. It was a conflict zone for sure at the time, and with militias and rebel forces, etc. But you know, I was working with a diversity of consultants, etc. And we were working with the then government of Rwanda. And I don't know, every meeting I went to didn't feel right. I just didn't feel like we were getting at what we were supposed to be doing. And I don't know what it was, but everything in my spine was tingling, and my gut was saying, this isn't going anywhere. And about, I don't know, 2 or 3 days later, there were mortar attacks near our hotel, and we were forcibly evacuated by the military and taken to the airport, and we kind of got the last plane out. And after that, of course, all hell broke loose in Rwanda, and so you have the great 20/20 hindsight of history. But you know, I often ask myself, I was actually 8 months pregnant at the time with my 3rd child, and you know, sitting in these meetings, and I don't know, maybe my senses were just on high alert, but something about it, and what I took away from that is, you know, how important it is to listen to those signals and to trust your gut.
Lessons that I've learned over my career. The opportunities are endless. What I thought I was going to be doing at the beginning of my career isn't what I ended up doing at the end. I figure that if I look back at my career, probably every 3 to 5 years I switched into a different role or into a different job, a different company, and the opportunities are endless. The advice that I'd give to my fellow colleagues would be to continue to enhance their skills, continue to take courses, continue to learn. There'll be many challenges throughout your career, and every challenge is an opportunity to learn something new. And if you have people that are reporting to you, act more as a mentor rather than a boss. Encourage those people to enhance their careers and be very supportive.
Most significant lessons that I've learned, I'd say, is learn your soft skills, practice them always, and always maintain the learning aspect of anything you do in your career. If you can find ways to practice your soft skills, so your speeches, meeting management, even just networking, take every opportunity. It doesn't have to be through your work, it could be through a social committee or through your professional areas.
You learn, you know, I think I'm, what would I say, I'm a hungry learner. I really believe that there's many teachers in the world, and they come in all shapes and sizes and dress and with all kinds of titles, and so I have many teachers. In fact, I'm actually working on a book called The Things I've Been Taught, and so I take learning quite seriously, and I'm kind of open to new experiences. But you know, I think some of the things I've learned is I'm really impatient. I know I'm impatient, and I want things done. I want things done fast, and I kind of have to sometimes stop and take a deep breath and recognize that, you know, you can go fast alone, but you'll go further with a team, that old adage, and it's true. I don't always like to admit that or acknowledge it, but it is true. And sometimes you just have to take that pause and make sure people are coming along with you, and that you're not leaving really key critical people behind. So, you know, I think there's this dynamic tension about decision making that's related to that, about how fast, how slow should you move. And I think there's this dynamic tension that you have to learn as a leader in particular, and that is you should make every decision as fast as you can and as slow as you can. And I would just like you to think about what that tension says, because it sounds quite contradictory, but it's actually not. You'll never have perfect information, and your job as a leader is to make decisions as quickly and as efficiently as possible. But at the same time, there is a moment when you have where you have to wait for enough facts, enough information, enough data, and so you're managing that tension as fast as you can and as slow as you can.
There's 3 different things I'd like to mention. So in your education after high school, we tend to have our noses in textbooks, and school teaches us to work really hard, keep your head down, and get good grades, and then you'll get your diploma or your degree. But once you get out into the working world, you have to actually raise your head up out of your textbook and look around you and look at your coworkers and try to get noticed. I would say that if keeping your head down and working hard will keep you employed, but it won't necessarily maybe give you the advances that you're looking for in your career. I encourage young women to volunteer outside of their jobs. So I've been volunteering on boards of directors for the past 10 years, and I find it very rewarding, sometimes even more rewarding than my paid work. So I would encourage people to volunteer outside of their work positions.
One of the most significant lessons I've learned over the course of my career is that myself, and I think women as general as a whole have to be careful not to put too much pressure on ourselves. I think there's a lot of pressure in the industry to excel as a technologist, to excel as a scientist, to excel as a mom, a career person, and to just step back and make sure that we're doing things for the right reasons, and to make sure that we are doing things for ourselves and moving our goals forward. I think a lot of the times when people think of women in technology and the potential issues or pressures that are there, I think a lot of times they're coming from internal sources as opposed to external sources.